what our actual definition for stimming is, and we'll see why we've gone down the rabbit hole. Stimming. A stim is an abbreviation for self-stimulatory behavior. Oh, that's what it stands for. But that is an inaccurate term. What? It assumes that a behavior's function is to stimulate the individual engaging in the behavior, when in fact, it may be that it's to reduce excessive stimulation. The correct term would be automatically reinforced behavior. Well, yay. Now I just learned that this term is inaccurate. I still am no closer to knowing what in the hey nani nani does it mean. Oh, it means automatically reinforced behavior. What exactly are we talking about? So let's move on to our working definition here. Stimming, it's behavior, often repetitive behavior, that an individual engages in because there's something about it that feels good internally. These behaviors often seem random or odd to the outside observer. All right. So we might see a child who's got their toy cows and lines them up, right? Usually it's cars that the kids line up, but sometimes it's stuffed animals or cows. Can you see my parade of cows that have Temple Grandin signatures on them? We're going to talk about that in a little while. So we could refer to this as a self-stimulatory behavior, but the problem with that, the reason why it's a misnomer, it's misnamed, and I would hear this forever. Oh, stimming means self-stimulatory. And I would think about some of the things that my son would do, and I would see him rock and flap his hands and look at things out of the corner of his eyes. He'd watch his fingers, he'd sit and do this, right? And he'd make high-pitched noises. And I would think self-stimulatory, that's him wanting to stimulate himself. That's not him wanting to stimulate himself. That's him wanting to calm himself down. So I would kind of get mad when people would refer to something as a stim. And then I found out, lo and behold, the proper term for it is automatically reinforced, because it does have a function. It's just that you and I can't see what the function of the behavior is. It might be that this is to calm them down, or it might be that this is their way of showing excitement, right? We don't know. And sometimes it's hard to know. So the appropriate term is automatically reinforcing. The reinforcer, the paycheck, is somewhere inside. And that's why they're doing it. The example that I always like to use, and this is why I have a pen in my hand today, you ever been in a room with somebody who's really bright and brilliant and they're thinking and solving a problem and they're doing this while they're doing it? They're sitting and they're kind of rocking in their desk and they're talking to you and they do, and sometimes people will go, can you stop that? But if you think to yourself, why is that advertising exec or that professor, why are they doing this? Well, it is an automatically reinforced behavior. It is something that is helping them to focus so that they can think about the thing that they want to do. And there's some sort of paycheck that's on the inside for them. It's not socially happening, the paycheck. It's on the inside. There's something about this that's serving a purpose to that ad exec. And by the way, that ad exec doesn't have autism. They don't have autism spectrum disorder. We all engage in automatically reinforced behavior. Some people hum. Some people do what a friend of mine calls sissing. Instead of humming, they'll right? That'll make you crazy. Being the person in the car with somebody who's sissing across country. That'll make you nuts. But we all have things that we do. My mom used to do a thing when she was concentrating on something where she would take her middle finger and she would push it against whatever fabric or her arm or whatever. That was her thing. Some people cross their legs and bounce their foot. For kids on the autism spectrum, it's just a little bit more visible because it isn't something that our society has said, oh, it's okay. We haven't determined that this is okay. Back in the 1900s, if somebody crossed their legs at the knee and bounced their leg, the teacher would have thrown them out of the classroom. It wasn't socially acceptable. So we have a ways to go on what is socially acceptable, but I think it starts with parents and teachers and people in the environment understanding, okay, that behavior has a function. There's something on the inside that is helping that person to cope in some way. It might be that it's calming them down. It might be that it's stimulating them. It might be that it's helping them to get rid of excess energy so that they can focus on the thing that they're trying to learn or the thing that they're trying to understand. But that's what we're talking about when people refer to stimming. Oh, they're engaged in a stim. I think it's our thing to try to figure out, is the thing that they're doing helping them, or is it getting in the way of other things?